What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here, and in this one we got some recruiting updates for Michigan as they lose a top 100 safety. However, they are looking to add a couple more safeties in the class. We go over a couple of them, and then we also give an update on the wide receiver flip target Jayvan Boggs, also a top 100 edge that Michigan has a chance now thanks to him being a teammate of Brady Hart. We also go over and talk about Michigan's current NIL situation, their new strategy in recruiting, as obviously it's gotten more transactional, but there is still a transformational angle to the recruiting efforts. And then we also talk a little bit about Michigan basketball picking up 2 key wins over TCU and Miami, Ohio, and also what this team needs to improve on. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so let's go ahead and start this video with the bad news first, and then we'll get into the good news. Now, the bad news is Michigan did lose a commitment from the 2025 4-star top 100 safety Ivan Taylor as he flipped his commitment to Alabama yesterday. Now, this was kind of expected to happen, especially in the past week, since he did get multiple predictions that went in Alabama's favor. So does suck to lose him. Alabama was a threat to flip him for quite some time now, and we were just, monitoring it. Now, the good news for Michigan is they do have 2 other options at safety, and obviously the first one I'll talk about is Elijah Dotson, and now that recruitment becomes very important for Michigan to flip him from Pittsburgh. He's obviously the 2025 4-star safety and is the in-state recruit, currently goes to Belleville High School, and Michigan has gotten multiple predictions going in their favor to flip him. So that's one option there for Michigan, which they should be able to complete that flip, but we'll see. Another option for them is another in-state safety, which is the 2025 4-star safety Alex Graham, who is currently committed to Colorado, comes from Cass Tech High School. Now, Michigan was kind of on and off with Alex Graham, throughout his recruitment. He had some injury problems. Michigan continued to monitor him, though, and now it appears it could be a good time to really push for him and get him in this 2025 recruiting class for Michigan. Now, Michigan's also still going after the 4-star top 100 cornerback, actually rated as a 5-star on 24/7 Sports rankings, Brandon Finney. He's currently committed to Oregon. Both Michigan and Penn State have been trying to flip him. Penn State has picked up some on-3 predictions to flip him, and it appears they're currently the leader to land him. Michigan is supposed to get him in for a visit this weekend, so maybe things will change, but right now that looks like Brandon Finney going to go to Penn State potentially. And that's where we stand with defensive back recruiting for Michigan in the 2025 class. They still have Shamari Earls, Kainoa Winston, Jaden Sanders committed in the class, looking to add a couple more in the class. And if they could end it with landing Elijah Dotson and Alex Graham, I would be perfectly fine with that, and obviously getting Brandon Finney would just be the cherry on top. So that's the latest there on defensive back recruiting for Michigan in the 2025 class. Yesterday we did talk about the UCF commit Jayvan Boggs, who is a 4-star receiver in the 2025 class, goes to Cocoa High School. He is Brady Hart's teammate, and they have a really strong bond between the two, and now he is set to take an official visit to Michigan this weekend, which we did mention yesterday could potentially happen, and that was the next step Michigan had to take after they just offered him over the weekend when Sherrod Moore and Kurt Campbell went to see Coco's football game. So that's some big news right there, and I think Michigan can definitely flip Jayvan Boggs from UCF, and it would just add to this wide receiver recruiting class, which is shaping up to be one of the best wide receiver classes for Michigan recently. Jayvan Boggs, he has a ton of upside. Michigan, they were hesitant to offer him, but they finally pulled the trigger, and I'm very excited about that, because I think this kid can be really special at the next level. But that's not the only guy Michigan offers transferred from Cocoa High School. The other one is the 2025 four-star top 100 edge Jayvan Hilson, who recently decommitted from Florida State. Now, he is rated as a 5-star on Rivals, but he is ranked in the top 100 on all recruiting sites. So this is a potential big-time edge target that Michigan, if they're able to land, would absolutely be huge. He's ranked 40th nationally on 24/7 Sports composite rankings, a 6'4", 245-pound defensive end, and we will see if Michigan can gain any traction in this recruitment as we are approaching early signing day. So that's the latest on some recruiting news right there. I did want to talk about Michigan's current NIL situation, what it means for the future, and Sean Moore, he got asked a lot of NIL questions during his weekly press conference yesterday, and he did mention that it's just part of college football now, and even though Michigan is getting transactional in recruiting, he did still say that Michigan still wants to be transformational as well. And Sean Moore did say there is still a transformational angle to their recruiting efforts, but he said with everybody it's a conversation. It's not really like how much can you give me, it's just part of the conversations now in college football, so we really rely on that not being the conversation with me. I really talk about the football aspect, what we can do, what the university can do, what our alumni can do, the education you're going to get. And I think most of our recruits here really value that. Now, Michigan, they do have general manager Sean McGee, who does talk about the NIL side, and he handles, a lot of that stuff for Sherrod Moore. But Sherrod Moore did say, we want to spread it out. I don't know what the internet says. I don't read it anymore. But we want everybody to get theirs. Everybody wants to eat. We want everybody to eat when it comes to that, and they'll all earn their keep. They'll all get what they deserve. And he did say we've got a great system in place, and that's where I'll leave it. So, it is very nice. Michigan finally starting to spend some money and use NIL to bring in more top talent, which is what they need to do. These past recruiting classes, if NIL wasn't a thing, Michigan, they would be one of the top classes after going to the college football playoffs, winning the Big Ten 3 years in a row and coming off a national championship. But with NIL, that's prevented Michigan from having top recruiting classes, and they really lost out on a lot of top talent in these previous classes. So it's definitely exciting that Michigan is now willing to spend money, but obviously it's up to Sherrod Moore now to kind of balance it out, still have some of that transformational approach, and also keep that culture in the building around the program in a good spot. There's going to be players getting or making more NIL money. That's just the way college football works nowadays. If you're an elite player, one of the best, you're going to be more popular, you're going to make more money. That's just the way it is. But Sherrod Moore says they've got a great system in place and everybody is going to get what they deserve. So it's definitely nice to hear right there. And then I also wanted to end this video by talking about Michigan basketball coming off of 2 big wins as they improved to 3-1 on the season following a 76-64 win over TCU on Friday, and then just last night beating Miami, Ohio 94-67. So a couple things on this team. Obviously, turning the ball over is a big issue, especially in the past 2 games. They had I believe it was like 16 turnovers in the first half against TCU and then 12 last night in the first half. Now, they have turned it around in the second half in both of those games, but that's definitely something they got to fix. Also rebounding still. But I tell you what, this team, they are winning. Their only loss is a 2-point loss to Wake Forest, which they really could have won and probably should have won that game. But this team has definitely been a lot more fun to watch, and you can tell the talent is there as long as they continue to work out and fine-tune things as the season goes on. I mean, even Dusty May said, if this team is looking the way they do right now in January, February, March, then that's on the coaching staff. They got to do what they got to do and fix some of these things early on in the season, which are expected with a brand new team. Dusty May did say post game that he was speaking to a coaching friend. He said a very, very successful coaching friend and mentor this morning or last night, and he said, I don't feel like we have an identity yet on either side of the basketball. And his response was, you're not supposed to. You're 4 games in. You have a new team. You have to win in the margins now. You have to figure this stuff out. You may not have an identity until conference play. So this team will continue to figure it out. Even John Beilein said, that this is a new team. They're getting to know each other. But, he said this is a really talented team. They'll figure things out, and later in the year, they'll look better. So John Beilein's encouraged about this Michigan team. I think Michigan fans should be encouraged about this team as well. It's a very talented team, a lot of players that are capable of shooting the ball and making plays. And it's also nice to see Dusty May, what he did last night in the game against Miami, Ohio. He pulled all the starters within the first 3 minutes of the game because they turned the ball over way too much, and that just goes to show the type of coach he is. So this team will figure it out. They will be fine. Definitely excited to continue watching them. But with that is going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more if you are new around here. I greatly appreciate it. And other than that, we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.